All right, guys. I sitting here with my mentor here, Brian Macris, who's been in the industry 25 years, take or give a few years, and he knows quite a bit about the industry. But I wanted to ask you, Brian, in your career, what was the toughest, most challenging time in that 20 plus years that you've been in the business?
Yeah, so
And why?
Yeah, so 2001-ish is when we got in. Same time for you and I. We've been colleagues and buddies for a long time. If I go all the way back, I think one of the toughest times we had in the industry was during the 2008-2009 crash. And I remember this specific phone call. It's in my head. The CEO of the company that I worked for, his name's Jim, and he's an awesome leader. Loved working with him. He called me up and he said, "Hey, listen, man, banks are going under. IndyMac went into receivership. Credit lines are being cut down. Loans were sitting on credit lines where we couldn't churn the credit line." And Jim comes to me, he goes, "Hey, Mac." And I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" And he doesn't call me often, but we would talk. And he goes, "I'm calling a few of my top guys." He goes, "Any chance we can push this closing off 1 or 2 days?" And I'm like, "It's a purchase. The crash was real." And I said, "Geez." I said, 1 or 2 days. I said, "Man, we're big on closing things on time. We're big on meeting commitment dates." He's like, "We got to do it, man." He says, "I don't have a choice. I'm up against the wall. We're waiting for some lines to be cleared up. The whole industry's in a mess, and nobody is taking, the $40 million or $100 million worth of loans on our lines. They're not taking them off our lines." And he says, "If it's not off the line," he goes, "I promise you, I'll fund it, and I'll fund it with my own funds." And I said, "I'll get you the 2 days." And it was a tough conversation. The agent was a veteran agent, so when I spoke to her, and she's like, "Hey, I get it, man. They're falling apart left and right. Fundings are going dry across all industries, across all banking and mortgage companies." And we got the customer on the line. We chatted with them, explained to them. They knew. It was in the news everywhere. Banks were shutting down. This was not wasn't like a secret or anything.
Oh, right.
And it was one of the toughest calls because the market was melting down. It was literally melting down as that was going down, and that was probably one of the toughest days, one of the toughest calls I've ever had to make in the business. And Jim Seeley was our leader and was fearless and made the call, and he did what he had to do, and we closed the loan, and it was a tough time for everybody.
Wow. You adapt and overcome adversity, right?
Yeah, you have to. You have to, or just delay 2 days and then get the wire. But if you look back on your 20-ish career, what do you does anything stand out?
Well, obviously the market crash was a challenge for all of us. Besides that, one of my biggest challenges was more making the decision. I was always a correspondent lender, with you for years and years, and had loyalty to that correspondent lender, and
that channel, absolutely.
And the challenge, I guess, to me is making a decision to come and work with this guy who moved to the broker side, and I was so torn about it. I was like, I was with the same group of guys for a long time, and and you and I stayed in touch, and it was a challenge for me to make that decision. And now, looking back at it, it's the best decision I made ever since I came on board with Brian. It's been the best 2+ years, 3 years of my career, and I owe a lot to it for this guy. And so I appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, it's legit. It is a different world, and that is a big change. And retail always screams about, we got all these advantages, and I'm like, you don't anymore. You used to, when we were mailing paper applications and writing them down and looking at pricing sheets, and we didn't have the technology. But now it's a technology company that we partnered with, one of the best out there, and their technology just happens to be their widget that they sell is mortgages. And I think we have the best technology in the business.
I mean, not to beat a dead horse, but closing deals, you would send
me. You had a one day one day or same day?
It was same day.
Same day. It was like 2 hours.
We had the appraisal waiver, so it was didn't beat your record, but
I got 62 minutes. But same day, clear to close.
Unbelievable. And going back to when we'd stay in touch because we were always friends, and you'd send over, and you're a salesman by trade, and you'd send over these clear to close. I'm like,
9 days, 3 days.
I'm like, come on. I did not believe it, to tell you the truth. And now, like I've been here, and it's
real.
now like we're not closing a loan in under 7 days. I'm like frustrated. Like, what's going on? What do you mean this is going to take 10 days to close? You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's like,
10 days. It's like
this
a
is
lifetime.
crazy. So,
Anyways, all right. So there's two real good things. I appreciate that. I didn't know what was coming out of you when I asked that question. But you got 40 years of experience plus right here. So if you're a loan officer out there in the business, we've been through the best times and the worst times, and I think our best times are ahead of us right now.
absolutely. So come talk to us, even if you just want to just inquire, ask questions,
Learn.
and we'd be happy to.
Hey, we'll spill everything. You want to learn about your competition? You don't have to join us. Just come learn.
Exactly.
That's how confident we are. So,
Absolutely.
anyways, thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Thanks.